Welcome to QuickTips, related for Eclipse. This will give you a basic overview for solving many Eclipse problems and fixing them. Eclipse problems revolve around two main issues. The first issue is a configuration issue, and this can represent itself in the area of having the wrong source code path, or having the wrong build path, or having the wrong element associated with the library path. And there's several different ways to fix that. We'll show you the proper way. The other one is Eclipse has a problem when it comes to project structure. If your code doesn't match the correct project structure, Eclipse might think it's one structure when you think it's something else, and then you'll get the same problem. In this case, I've created a generic example of a problem. You can see here I have a project, and I have some folders that I imported that have Java classes. In this case, if I right-click on this one and do Run as a Java application, it says the selection does not contain a main type. Very strange. If I try it here, let's say I want to go a little bit further and say I want to adjust my run configurations. And clearly I've identified the class and the folder that should be there based on the directory structure I imported. And I try running that, I get the ever popular and dreaded could not find or load main class. So what's happening there? So let's take a little look here. Eclipse actually has given us some clues. The first clue is Eclipse says, hey, this is a source directory. I've got a little icon there that you can clearly see. And then this one here is Eclipse testing and working folders. But they're just folders. As far as Eclipse knows, those are just folders. Yeah, it knows this is a Java file. Yeah, it does know that. But it doesn't know what to do with it because it's not part of anything that it knows about. So how do we fix that? Well, there's a lot of different ways. Sometimes there's a click option here. I don't know if it's here that says Add to Build Path. And let's see if it's available today. Add to build path. You can do it that way, but that's not the right way to do it. What will end up happening there is you'll include that one single file, and you'll get some more problems later on. Again, you're not following the proper structure for the project. You could do the same thing probably here, and again run into the same issues. The easiest way to do it is to actually work with the project itself and tell it the correct build path. So you go into Build Path, Configure Build Path. From here, you're going to go to the Source tab under the Java build path on the left, in case you were wondering. And you're going to say, hey, I want to add a folder to my existing folders in the build path. The adding the folder, in this case, I'm going to select the testing and working directories and say, okay, those are two added. So now you'll see that Eclipse will actually move them because it knows what structure you're looking for and what kind of project you're. See, it'll actually move them. Okay? Wow, it moved them, right? Oh, but there's an error. What's wrong? Wait a second, default package. Wait a second. We know for a fact that the directory structure on these was com.testing. I remember the file system when I imported it. Why is it doing this? Well, the reason why is Eclipse doesn't know that file structure on a generic file import. So what we can do is several different ways of fixing it. You can either rename the package with refactoring, or the simplest way is to simply hover over this and it'll say, hey, move that to the actual correct package. And voila, a couple seconds later, it does it. Same thing here. You can do the same thing here. Fix the problem. Move it to the working directory. Okay? So now we have it in the correct directory, correct package structure. We can do Run as Java application, and voila, it works. Let's see the other one. Run as Java application, and it works as well. So let's review a couple of things here. We had to put the files and the source code in the proper build structure, in the file structure that Eclipse is suspecting and expecting. The other thing you have to do, you also might have to do, depending on your program, you might have to configure the additional libraries that it's looking for. So if you're using some other libraries like, maybe you're using Apache Messaging, MQ, ActiveMQ, or whatever, you'll have to configure those in here because obviously it could have the same problem, and that could explain problem. You also could have conflicting libraries, so you'll have to make sure and check that. If you have other projects, you can do that as well. Sometimes you have multiple projects. Another way you can also look at this is you could take a look at the actual run configuration. So if you go here to the actual code you're running, in this case this test Eclipse class, I can right click on it and say run as run configuration. And here you can actually fix it as well. Notice there's two here on the left in the Java application. It knows the two main classes. You could actually adjust this, but be careful of trying to adjust this without putting it in the proper structure. You'll still get the same errors if it doesn't know about the proper structure, even if you're specifying the correct main class. You can fix it in here by going over to Source and adding that folder, but this wouldn't be the correct way to do it, because Eclipse will just be adding it as part of that run configuration, not part of any other element of the project, and any element of the project you're trying to use beyond this particular run configuration called Java Application Testing would not work correctly. So that's probably why you don't want to do it that way. All right, let's take a quick look at one last thing, and then we're all done for your quick tips. The other thing that is important is under the project, Properties, you can go here and look at Project Facets. So Project Facets allows you to tell Eclipse that it's a different type of project than just a generic Java project. It might be a Access Web project, CXF, Dynamic, and so on and so forth. By selecting these, behind the scenes, Eclipse will change the structure of the project and look for files in various places. So if you're building as an example, a web project, and you will only have selected Java, Eclipse will never know how exactly to structure that or run, and you'll run into all sorts of problems. So make sure that you always have the correct, proper project facets, and you may have multiples of them that work with the particular project you're working on. I hope this was helpful. I hope it solves some of your problems, and good luck to you.